Back in the bar.
Wow, it's been a while.
It has been a while. I can't believe this.
What happened to the 3, 2, 1? Here we go. You just went straight in. Here we go. Boom.
Well, I feel like if I give you warning, it doesn't.
What? I wouldn't do this then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would be.
It would have been a bit better.
It would have been a bit more professional.
It would.
Now I remember why we don't do this anymore.
Well, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday night at Finnegans.
Yes, we're back in the bar, aren't we?
We're back in the bar after a little bit of a
one-off special, is it? I don't know what it is.
Well, I don't know. Who knows?
Could be more. There could be more.
Would like to say back by popular demand, but there has been no demand.
No one's really bothered to ask when we're doing another one, have they? Really?
Do you know what I've realised? Some people do say, "Oh, I love your podcast. I still watch it every week." And I thought, well, we don't do it anymore.
Yeah, we haven't done it for a year. Yeah, you're telling
Yeah. Can I just say though, I've just clocked what you're wearing on your feet. They are horrendous. What are they? Are they Christmas slippers?
The slippers, yeah. Hey, these slippers are probably worth more than what you've got on.
Are they a particular make or something?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
What are they?
Ugg.
Oh, that's so Ugg.
That's so brutal.
Boys don't wear Ugg today. That's a girl's thing.
I do.
You are something else. You've fallen
and anyway,
off the
you
edge.
can't say that type of language anymore. That's terrible of you.
Don't
you do that.
I don't want to navigate gender with Allan. It's like with your granddad. You don't know what he could say anything.
It wasn't me, it was you.
Say, I have to apologise. Sorry, it's just because he's old and he doesn't realise.
No, but it wasn't me. It was you.
Okay. All right. Well, we are back Wednesday night at Finnegans. And the whole idea of this podcast, for those who are joining us for the first time, is that most Wednesday nights, although we haven't done it for a long time, is that we get in the bar.
We pull up a stool, but someone's robbed our stools, Tom. I don't know what's going on. Must have been busy in the bar.
It's all gone wrong. So we've not got stools, we're just stood here.
We're just stood. Yeah.
But it's basically an opportunity for us to chat to one another, catch up, but also we talk about the big questions
we have a drink.
Of life and faith.
Don't we? And we've got special beer.
We've got a special beer.
Handmade.
By your hands?
By my hands,
Did you wash your hands?
This could be... I sterilised my hands. You'd have to.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wow, it almost sounds like you know what you're doing.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Okay. So this is... Can people buy this yet?
No, I couldn't sell this. This is terrible.
Did you...
But I'm going to make you drink some.
Did you design the label?
Only on a stupid weird art thing, you know. You know me and design, Tom. I've been asking you to do one for me for years and you won't. You just say, yeah, mate, we'll get round to that. Yeah. So, but it doesn't happen. So
let's try it.
Let's open it and see what it can. And this is it. I need to say before we do this that I've only opened 2 bottles.
Okay.
One went pop, and one went.
Had nothing to it.
So this could be terrible.
And your hope is one day you'll make beer to sell.
To sell and use the proceeds to help struggling families and stuff. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's what I want to do. I'll never do it. Let's get round to it. But
I'm in.
Yeah, but you opened it without the trying to pop it.
Oh, go on. You show me how
Mine was the same. This is going to taste terrible.
Then, isn't it?
This one's flat, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds it anyway.
Well, oh no.
It's not bad, yours.
Is it? Okay. That's got a bit of fizz to it.
Mine hasn't. Look at that.
Mine,
I'm going to have to do that to get anything in mine. Yours is all right, isn't it? Yeah, mine's not. Look at mine. Mine's dead as a dodo.
So
I have. Well, no, I had a sip of one.
Let's have a
flat one. It was horrible.
No, yours has got a bit of a head to it as well.
Because I poured it like that. Yeah, cheers.
Very good.
Yeah, see what you think of this nonsense. This is why it's never got off the ground.
It's nice.
He's not going to touch that again all night. I wouldn't blame you, by the way. I don't know what it is.
Have you got a strange aftertaste as well, or is that just me?
No. This is like a real ale, innit? That's the problem. So it's like a bit bad. But anyway, that'll be getting left. Look at mine's gone flat already. Look, that's why I can't sell it. So
I'm not sure about that.
No.
Anyway,
it's horrible, man.
Should we give a bottle away to someone?
Yeah. As long as they live local. Don't be getting someone from Essex like you normally do, and then tell me, have you posted that, mate? No, I haven't. Well, do you live in Essex?
Could we have a bit of a competition then? Something like,
how are they going to do it?
The person who can guess the number of holidays you've been on in 2024.
I can't even guess that.
Well, there's so many. So many to count.
Have you been counting?
I know.
Okay.
There's a record. How many holidays has Allan been on in 2024? And the person who gets closest to the nearest...
To the hours.
The nearest 10.
The nearest 10.
We'll get...
He's only all upset now that now he's working for the Message. He has to count his holidays every day and all that and write them down and ask for them. Where when he worked with us, it was just like, I'm not coming in today, mate. All right. Got a little bit of business on the house.
You were terrible.
Come on. Anyway, what's happening tonight?
Well, give us a little health update because many people thought you'd be dead by now.
Including myself, to be honest.
People are surprised.
I literally, my daughter came to me last year and I said, and she said, "Oh, Dad, we're struggling to save up for that house and all that because we're renting. Can we move back into yours?" And I thought to myself, when do you want to move in? She said, May. I thought, sounds I'll be dead. I'm not messing. I'll be dead. It'll give Judge something to do.
Oh.
But I'm alive now. And she's considering moving in with a 1-year-old baby and a dog that doesn't stop barking. Honestly, it's just like, wow. So no, I'm all right, aren't I? I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
The scans, they said to me last week that I'm better now than I was 12 months ago when I came in.
Wow. So that's incredible,
good.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I've still got it, and it's still a dire outlook. But
yes.
There's some treatments that can extend things that I can still have.
Considering that a year ago they said you'd be dead within a year.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm looking all right, aren't I?
You are.
Yeah,
I can see people are starting to think,
this is all a scam.
This is all a scam. So people are starting to think,
I think that's why the GoFundMe slowed down.
Where's that GoFundMe money gone?
It's like the Arteta money. Where's that Arteta money?
The answer will become clear when we find out how many holidays you went on last year. That's the thing. But no, it's really, really excellent news. And there's still treatment. Obviously, you can continue to have the treatment option that you've had, which wasn't on the NHS and is still not on the NHS. So the money that there's still... You're saving for that next treatment, but they've said that you don't need to have that now, and they're going to hold off on further treatment.
A scan at the end of February and another one at the beginning of March, 2 different types, and then they'll decide then what's next. And that can be hold it. Don't be looking at me like that with that smiley face. Hold it and wait another 3 months.
Yeah.
Or go to the treatment, whichever, as in the one that you pay for, or there's a new one available on the NHS. They've kept me alive long enough to give me free treatment.
Wow.
How good's that?
That's amazing. It's so good. And there's a lady in our congregation, an older lady, and she came to me a few Sundays ago, and she found a little article in a national paper which talked about this new eye treatment for people with eye cancer. Yeah. And she's been praying for you, like, faithfully every day. And she came and said, could this treatment be suitable for Allan? I said, yeah, that's the one. They're going to give it to him when he needs it. And she was in tears of just joy and happiness. And for me, it feels like...
You're making me feel bad now, Tom.
What? No, that's good. That's a nice thing. But it feels like God is working in the midst of it. And actually, you, national TV celebrity, worked your magic and ended up on BBC Songs of Praise.
Let's be honest, I only ended up on Songs of Praise because Steve Legg died.
Oh... What do you mean?
Well, I think they wanted him, really. But he was too sick at the time.
Oh, Steve.
In fact, I think he passed away at the time. So.
Oh, Steve, long-term friend of the podcast.
Yeah, long-term friends. I love Steve. That really hit me that when he died, to be honest, because we were diagnosed at the same time, and it was a bit... It's real again, if you get what I'm saying. So, you know, I'm not having a go at Steve, obviously, but they wouldn't have had me, would they? Let's be honest.
You were the backup choice.
Would you have me and trust me in front of a camera? I mean, that's why you don't do this anymore.
And then it's constantly the wheels within my head that are thinking, how do I say, what's he going to say next?
Yes, exactly. So
you were on Songs of Praise.
Yeah.
I thought you were excellent on Songs of Praise.
That's because they cut all the nonsense out.
Yeah. They whittled it right down.
That was the only 7 minutes they could show.
I thought it was excellent, really excellent. I haven't seen much of BBC Songs of Praise, but the episode was fantastic. People can catch up with it on iPlayer. Yeah. They filmed it a number of months ago.
September time, I think.
And I think they thought that they would be able to, at the end of the episode, have a little phase of black.
To them, when's this going out? And they said, February. I went, I could be dead by then. And they went, oh, well, if you are, we'll do a nice picture of you up and with a black screen and your dates.
In loving memory.
Yeah.
Here you
I think I've done the head in. They had to scrap that little bit.
Yeah. But one of the things you said to me on the show, which I thought was it was quotable, in fact.
Oh, quotable.
But I can't quite remember it at this point. But you said this experience, because they were asking you, Kate Botley was asking you about, going through cancer and what's that done to your faith? And I know this isn't like clear cut, there's ups and downs, there's good days and bad days, but you relayed that you felt like you experienced a new depth of God's provision and God's care through what's gone on.
Yeah.
Do you want to just talk a little bit about that? Especially because people watching we've got lots of people who watch who don't have any faith.
Yeah.
So for them, they would just think.
Well, they can just think, well, I remember when I was first diagnosed, one of my mates said to me, God must hate you. Because I've got good mates,
Yeah.
But it was another one of my mates, we've mentioned him earlier, Rob Thomas, who would call himself an agnostic. Well, I don't know whether he'd call himself that, but that's what he kind of is. Someone who sort of believes there might be something. And he said to me, all this money coming in, mate, I see that as the provision of God for you at this time. And that made me think at the time, and pondering on it, it kind of gave me that answer when she asked me about it. Because I thought I'd start to GoFundMe. If I got $5,000, I'd be, I'd have been delighted because I wouldn't be embarrassed. You know what I mean? Never mind. At the time, I was setting it at $200,000. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Yeah. So, and to now I've 140 something. I don't know.
It's incredible, isn't it?
£2,000, 42 and a half or something. It's, as I've said many times, it's very humbling.
You got a little bit choked at that point.
I did.
Didn't you?
Yeah. I did. Yeah.
I was at home going, cry. I thought you're going to get loads of stick off your mates if you cry on national TV.
Nah, they won't admit that they've watched it.
Okay.
So safe.
They're watching.
None of them.
Though.
Yeah, I know they've watched it, but none of them will go like, you nearly cried there, did you? Because I'll go, oh, you watched it.
Yeah.
You only watched your, but turns it off after that. Rubbish that.
No, we joke and we jest, but I am absolutely delighted. It's such a joy that.
I mean, when you're terminal, you get to use the app in Wetherspoons as well, to get them to bring the beer to the table.
Is that what happens?
No, I
didn't realise about. All right, let's crack on. But I think people will be over.
What are you doing? You're not bothered.
I'm fine. Apart from genuinely, my stomach is feeling a little bit strange now after I drank that beer.
You've only had a sip. Can't be that bad. That can't be. It must be what you had for your dinner.
I didn't eat much. Well, maybe that's the problem, actually. I've put that into an empty stomach. I'm not sure that's fit
I'm
for
actually speechless.
I'm really excited tonight because I can't believe it, but we've actually got a genuine bishop in the building.
We have.
I can't believe she's agreed to do this.
Not like one of our regional ministers, Tom, a proper bishop.
I know, like a real one.
A real thing.
And I thought these people must have people to tell them you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But apparently not. Welcome, Jill Duff, everyone.
It's very good to be in Wednesday night bar.
That's
whatever you called.
That's how you know no one vetted, because you didn't even know the name of what it was. You were kind of like, thanks for having me. Where am I supposed to be?
What am I doing in this bar?
Call my assistant. What on earth?
If I blink at Morse code, will they come and get me?
Come and save me.
Rescue me.
The problem is this isn't going out live, so no one's coming for weeks. But Jill, thank you for coming in tonight. It's lovely to have you here.
It's very good to be here in this honoured space. Yes.
Yeah. On the interwebs.
On the interwebs.
This space.
I've never seen someone quite so panicked.
Since the MP came on.
Oh wow, the MP. Yeah, that was. We stoked a bit of a fire there, didn't we? Because we had our local MP on, but there was obviously some people who had an axe to grind, and so they came out in force, didn't they?
Okay, I have no responsibility for bins. Isn't that that's what you're worried about?
We're all right. We're not live. We're sound. We're sound
bins,
today.
We did have lots of questions about bins.
Bins, dog poo, weeds.
Yeah. But
I looked it on the responder where that first scene was in Netherton, Marion Square with the dog poo, and you were just like, you couldn't have picked the worst thing.
They filmed the
ever.
responder in Netherton. Are you familiar with that program?
That, no.
Bilbo,
it's
the guy
good.
Bilbo Baggins, is it? He plays Bilbo Baggins. What's his name? From The Office? And he was in, but he was. They filmed in our square, which
Come on,
people moan about dog mess everywhere.
Yeah. And so that was
one of the scenes they did. The first scene on the show was this fella picking it up to throw it at the police. You know.
When I used to live in Litherland, Netherton was the posh end of town. So
was it? Was that
yes,
what people
you were
thought?
posh. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
No,
you lived in Tin Town.
I lived in Tin Town, actually.
Tin Town is not posh.
Not posh. And you said there was a documentary about a shooting on my road.
There was, yeah. I can't remember what the name of that was, but anyway.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Anyway, sorry, I butted in again.
Do we address? Because I always feel. Like when I'm with a bishop, I feel like I'm around royalty. Like I have to say,
are, obviously.
So do I have to say Bishop Jill? I feel safer saying Bishop Jill.
Okay, whatever you like, whatever you like.
Am I allowed to do that? Yeah.
I was once leaving a church in Blackpool, and this old guy leaned in and he said to me, "Can I just say, you were the most beautiful bishop I've ever seen."
Oh.
And I've never been called up before. My heart started swelling, and then he said, "Yeah, but there's not much competition, is there?"
That's
like
you give a compliment, then you take it away.
Yeah, I was crushed by that, really. Yeah. But my Hello magazine career was just in tatters at that point. But I'm trying it a different way by coming on your.
Well, that's it. You're here now. This will probably
second chance saloon.
Yeah,
last chance saloon.
Well, you mentioned there that you used to live in Liverpool, so I think we're going to find out a little bit. We'll do a little bit of a journey through, how you've ended up where you've ended up doing what you're doing. But we first met you, Jill, when we came to study at St Mellitus, which was a training college for both for vicars but also for people of other denominations. So we were Baptist ministers there.
Yeah.
And both me and Allan came along, and I remember meeting you for the first time, and I was thinking and praying about whether I should go and do some further study. And I met with you, and it was really helpful when we chatted. You're looking at me like I'm about to say a joke or something, but no, it was just genuinely very, very helpful, and really felt like that helped me make a really positive decision, and that was an important time.
Yeah, and similar.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to another theological college, and it was chalk and cheese. The kinds of, I don't know whether it's an interview. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but it was chalk and cheese. Yeah, it was chalk and cheese. Yeah.
Oh. So, well, I remember you both very fondly, both model students in your own way, really.
One of us passed out, and one of us passed out.
We'll allow people to guess who's who.
One of us is still in a job.
But it was brilliant, wasn't it? It was really positive, and you enjoyed the crumpets every week when you came to college.
No, I liked the classes. I really did.
Yeah,
it was just
very good, very good.
Too much reading. You have to read, and it's not Janet and John anymore, is it?
No,
you know what I mean, or Flippy the Frog.
And we can guarantee you, who will watch this is Barbara.
Yeah,
we'll watch this. Crumpet Barbara, as we call her, because she made the crumpets.
Yes, I do remember Crumpet Barbara.
She watches it without fail every time it's on.
Hello, Barbara.
She does.
Yes. Her husband Jim doesn't like it so much. She relayed that to us.
Okay.
But Barbara loves it, so we'll let her know this is on. And this will be like two worlds colliding for her, so she'll be overjoyed that you're on.
Yeah.
But start, maybe, Jill, by just telling us what a bishop is, because a lot of people may not be familiar with bishops or, how that works. So maybe just unpack that a little bit for us.
Yeah, well, in the Church of England, we kind of oversee different areas. So I oversee Lancashire with two other bishops. So there's 190 schools, 240 churches, and about 20 chaplaincies.
Wow.
And I'm originally from Lancashire, so for me, it's a lovely thing to be kind of back home, so to speak. And every day is different, really. A big part of the job is telling people about Jesus and asking God to fill them with his Holy Spirit. I've done stuff quite a bit on radio, a bit on TV, quite a lot of one-to-one stuff, actually, just with encouraging people and vicars. And there's some tough parts of the job as well, really. But every day is different, and I love it to bits.
That's great. And so how long have you been doing that for?
Nearly 7 years. Nearly 7 years, yeah.
Wow.
I'm an expert. Well, no, I'm not. No, but I've been doing it a bit and enjoy it.
Do you feel like it's something you're growing? Like, because you've been a local vicar as well. So does it feel quite distinctly different to that, or is it just, I think when you first start out and people say, "Oh, hello, Bishop Jill," you can look round and wonder who else is there.
Imposter syndrome.
But I've kind of grown into that side of things as well, really. But love it, actually. It was quite a new thing in the Church of England to have women bishops. So I was number 13
Wow.
I mean, you
Since
had about
scratch.
44 votes until you got your way, didn't you?
We had, I know. Wrong answer. Wrong answer.
Vote again. No, vote again.
Vote again.
Don't get me wrong, I'm really happy.
No,
I'm okay with it.
But to be
I'm
fair,
good.
I want, good friends and colleagues don't agree with women bishops, and I want to honour that too. So
Yeah.
I think we want to have different views thriving in the Church of England. I think that's what, a lot of churches do that, but I love that we can disagree on important things and still get on, really. Yeah.
So you're the 13th bishop.
13th woman bishop in
That's a
history.
woman
lovely
Yes.
number, isn't it?
Yeah, Baker's dozen, I'd like to say.
That was an unlucky number, wasn't it?
That's amazing, though, isn't it? There's only in the Church of England, in the history of the Church of England, you're number 13.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
It's a
I
bit-
don't want to, the weight of the responsibility there, Jill, but
No, I don't know.
it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's quite an honour, actually.
Yeah.
Because I think also when you're quite new, you can help shape it like you would love to. So my 2 male colleagues, I said, I can't be bishops like you, because they kind of look like bishops. And they said, we don't want you to be bishops like us. You be yourself. And that's been a lovely, lovely thing, actually, finding ways to be me in this role as well. So
Very good.
so I have a side hustle that my real ambition is to be the bishop for fashion.
Oh, nice.
Different bishops have different portfolios, and actually in Britain, fashion's a major industry.
Kate
So
Botley will have to watch out, won't she?
I'm in competition
it.
with Kate Botley.
You
She's
are.
going to watch this.
Her media profile's a little bit bigger than yours
I
at the
know.
moment.
Don't crush me from the start.
Sorry.
But, yeah.
Alan,
She bought a pair of shoes out of our shop, Tom.
did she? Well,
Yeah.
she can't be that
Pair of
fashionable then,
green
can she?
Pair of green shoes.
I've seen the stuff in our shop. Isn't there the other day and someone's put a
We're
joke?
trying to flog that, Tom, to pay the bills, and you're like saying, don't go there.
Someone put a joke wig on the mannequin.
Yeah.
So it was like bright neon green. Someone tried to
bought
buy
it.
it.
Yeah, I know,
Did someone buy it? I didn't feel like we could sell it to them,
That's,
but someone wanted
they
it.
want to give us a quiz, I'll give them any.
Kate Botley rocking the shoes. I mean, they are better than that.
She paid £3. Oh,
Did
she
she?
were only up for a quid.
You made her pay.
Yeah.
And I mean, you
She
wearing...
insisted, in fairness to it.
Okay. You
Yeah.
wearing those Uggs as well. I don't think we should be
Just
talking
hey,
about
my feet are
fashion.
nice and well. So I don't think you should ever talk about fashion. Never mind. Let's be honest.
Let's Bishop
I've
Jill's
got
the
a
one.
fashion story. If I can,
Please do.
Can I
Please do. Yeah.
slide in here because I was on a train to London to a very, very miserable bishops meeting. We occasionally have these very, very miserable bishops meeting. And I bumped into a friend on the train.
Okay.
And at Euston Week, when we got off, this woman came over and she said to me, to my friend, "You're the woman who left your credit card in my shop yesterday." And we were thinking, like, what's the chance of that? So my friend Sophie opened her purse. Her credit card was missing. So I said, well, I'm near Chester tomorrow. I can go back and get the credit card. Here's my business card so you know who I am. And she looked at the business card and she said, well, you're a bishop. And I said, well, we're both bishops. And so she's like, whoa, what's the chance of that? And so she took a selfie. I took a selfie together. Thought no more of it. Thought, what are the chances? 10 minutes later, we're in the Loos in Euston. Okay. And this woman, Andre, comes up to us again. She says, I put your photo in our work WhatsApp. It's gone mad. And then she looks straight at me and she says, would you come and model for me next week?
No way.
I know. I know. No, don't be
No, not in that. I don't mean like, no way.
But the thing was, I have never been asked to model anything. So literally a week later, me and Sophie spend the morning trying on these high-end fashion.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon, we're in this posh restaurant in Chester. And we, modelling with another, 4 or 5 middle-aged women, and it brought so much joy. So the upshot was we bounced into this miserable bishops meeting, full of joy because of this beautiful. I call them a God incidence of what happened, and we're still in touch with Andre, and she's still a bit of a friend actually. Yeah,
That's ace.
So if Andre, if you're watching this, a big shout out to you and Jigsaw as well. So
very good.
Yeah.
Do you get cheap clothes
Commission.
now?
So we've got 50% off whatever we wanted to buy. So I have these silver trousers, my silver pants,
Wow.
trousers of joy, the most expensive trousers I've ever bought, but they are worth it. Okay, I'm not wearing them today, I'm afraid. Not like the
I can't imagine many bishops have silver trousers.
No.
You might be surprised.
We
Let's
won't
not go
go
there,
there.
Tom. Let's not go there.
We're going to be on our best behavior.
We are.
Well, that's amazing. What a story.
Yeah.
Kate Botley's got nothing on you then.
No.
I think so.
Would you present songs of praise, Jill?
I think Kate, I mean, I can win you with that story. But there's a lovely things. I think sometimes God puts lovely like coincidences in your lives of just like, that was just the moment for us, really. So a moment of joy. Yeah.
So becoming a bishop and that, like, this role in the church, quite a significant role. Have you always been a Christian? Like, have you always been a person of faith? Was that always a trajectory?
No,
like,
it wasn't. No, I come from Bolton and from a family who didn't kind of really go to church. But I went to my Church of England primary school. And when I was 4, there was pictures of Jesus on the walls and I started to dream about him.
No way.
And he was asking me to be part of this rescue. And when you're 4, you don't normally get picked for anything like that. So that really stayed with me. And when going to church, Sunday school, and when I was, get
I
the
couldn't
Bible,
even get in
started
the nativity play. Man, Jesus invite me to the rescue. Sorry, carry on.
No, but there was sidebar in the nativity play in my school. You weren't allowed to be anything significant if you didn't have blonde hair.
No.
So I was a villager every year because I had brown hair.
Boo.
So I am slightly emotionally scarred by nativity plays. But anyway, who isn't? So anyway, started reading the Bible and was really intrigued by Jesus and the stories about him. And then when I was 11, went on this activity holiday, all sorts of rock climbing and windsurfing and things. But my leader said to me, "Have you ever heard of the Holy Spirit?" I thought, no, I've heard of God the Father, I've heard of Jesus, and I've heard of the Holy Spirit. And she said, well, don't just read the Bible like it's a normal book. Ask the Holy Spirit to open your eyes.
Wow.
And I did. Wow. And it was like Jesus walked off the page of the Bible and into my life like a real living person. And I remember going to meet my mum at Manchester Piccadilly Station because it's the first time I've been away from home for a whole week. And I literally bounded up to her and said, Mum, I've given my life to Jesus. And she was horrified. Yeah. She thought I'd been brainwashed.
Yeah.
Oh,
so your family weren't Christians?
No, not in that way, no. And I mean, just to finish her story, because she thought I'd been brainwashed the whole, and that carried on as I left working for the oil industry to go and be a vicar. But this is now 12 years ago, I went to see her. And she was in a hospice in Manchester because she got cancer. And when I arrived there, she was anxiously waiting for me in the foyer. And she said, "You've got to come along the corridor with me to the chapel." Well, that's a really funny thing for my mum to say because she wasn't into chapel and that sort of stuff. When I got there, she said, "I was here last night. I was asking God to make my back better." She had a bad back with a cancer. And it was like Jesus was here and he was telling me it's going to be okay. Wow. She said, "That's what you've been trying to tell me all these years, isn't it?" And I didn't know what happened to her that night because we were from a family of worriers. And if we could worry about something, we'd worry about it. Mm-hmm. But she approached her death 4 months later on Easter Day with a beautiful sense of peace.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
I love that. Got chills.
Yeah.
And I mean, two things going through my mind there. First of all, that I had a friend when I was younger who he became a Christian and, from a non-Christian background. And it was like for the rest of his family, because it was his life there was a big change. And they did see it as a positive change as it went on. But he used to have to, he'd go out and say he was going clubbing, but really he was going to church. Because for them, they would be more alarmed if they found out he was in the church than if he was in the club.
Well, as a teenager, I used to read the Bible under the covers. It's like,
did you?
Kind of like secretly. But,
wow.
I found the Bible is like it's alive. It's like a living book. And, Jesus can really speak to you through it.
Yeah.
And so I got quite, I still am a bit of a fan of it, obviously. But
and the other thing that came to mind was we're doing an Alpha course at the moment, which we do at Emmanuel regularly, and we've seen lots of people find out more about Christianity. People come to faith in Jesus, and we had someone come to the first week last week it was, and they talked about dreams as well. And so they'd been involved in some new age stuff, and they'd actually found that had become quite dark, a dark place for them, and they became quite depressed, and they got caught up in all this kind of spiritual stuff. But they were finding that negative. But then they started having dreams of Jesus, and Jesus coming to say that he had come to set them free from those things. And she's explaining it, and she said, "I actually feel like I've been reborn. And I've met Jesus in this dream, so I thought I'd better come along to a church to find out some more." And, here we are thinking, we're starting week 1 of this evangelism, find out a bit more about Christianity, and God's already doing it and meeting with people.
He's speaking more and more to people in dreams, I think. So this is from last weekend, a friend of a friend. She was having a dream, and in the dream, she felt she had to read the Bible and read Luke's Gospel. And she's not really... the Bible, Luke's Gospel, that didn't mean anything to her really. It's because she was like, I could just about find the Bible. She put the side light near her bed on, just to make a note of that. And by her bed, there was a Bible open at Luke's Gospel.
No.
This is a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Last weekend.
Amazing.
So this is, I think my sense is that God is missing people so much, he's longing them to come back home. And there's a massive call out. We think he's like the headmaster in trouble, or the bishop. You've not done your homework, Allan. You've not read the essays. I know you. But it's like the opposite. It's like, he's desperate for people to come home.
I mean,
go on.
Sorry, that is a big thing, isn't it? About the God being a headmaster or what? Do you understand what I mean? That's massive. The two different sides that people have an opinion of what God is like. And I've been in both places. I know which one I prefer. The one who lets me off with the reading.
That was like Jill at St. Mellitus.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So it is massive when your perception of God changes from this person that's like shouting at you all the time, to someone that loves you. That's a massive change in life.
And I can understand, when what people think about God, because I've known people who have said they prefer to believe God's not real, because if he was real, they invoke a lot of fear in them, and then you think that's so gutted. I'm really hoping God doesn't exist, because actually, if he does exist, I feel like I'm in a real amount of trouble. And you just wonder how is that. How have we got to this place?
It changed for me overnight when there was a verse in the Bible that I used to read, and it really made me feel condemned. And it's in Isaiah, and I'm going to quote it in probably the AV or something, I don't know. All my righteousness is as filthy rags. And I used to read that and think, I'm terrible. I'm really bad. I'm awful. Oh, even if I try my hardest, I'm terrible. And then overnight, I don't even know what the switch. I think I had a mad thing going, but that's too long to go into. It switched overnight, and I suddenly realised that even if I was the best person, it's not that matters. Do you get what I mean? It suddenly switched. The same verse meant totally the opposite, where it made me feel condemned one night, but then the next night, it made me feel loved more than I'd ever felt.
Wow.
If you get what I mean. And it was the same words. It's just the perception of God in my head had changed because of something, Anyway.
Wow. Well, I'm intrigued. Do you think like what Jill's talking about in terms of the Holy Spirit, was there something that got on there?
Yeah, absolutely. I was. It's a long story. I'll try and cut it short. But I was watching a film on the telly, and it was I forget what it was called now off the top of my head, because I wasn't going to tell this story. But it was about the Deep South in America and the injustices of racism and that. And it was just, I got madder and madder at watching this film and how it wasn't getting sorted. Do you get what I mean? And I just felt a whisper in me head, and God say, that's you, that. You're like that. With me. Right? And I was like, it hit me. And that night, I went from being really shy and reserved to almost a bit off my head in terms of like, I started running around the living room praising God. So that's not something I'd do. I mean, I probably wouldn't do it now. Never mind then. Like I was running around the living room. My wife is in bed upstairs, but So, and it was after that moment that when I started reading Bible again, verses
came
changed.
To life. Yeah,
it completely changed. Changed.
Wow.
Because he was basically saying to me, "You're letting the devil, the enemy, control you like this, and you shouldn't be. You should be free." So, anyway, never mind.
No, it's great. I mean, it's incredible. And that is so out of character, Alan.
Exactly.
I can't imagine you running
so
around the living room.
Yeah. I couldn't run around the living room now, so on my back I'd go.
Bishop Jill, how do you then go from young person, had this experience of Jesus, sort of like where you think he's real.
Dead clever.
Yeah.
Can write me essays.
That's it. How do you go from there? Is it then straight into the ministry? At a young age, did you feel like then I'm going to become a vicar? Was that like your?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I have got kind of a glorious CV in that sense. So, Oxford, Cambridge, blah blah blah.
Have you?
Yes.
What, you went to both?
I did, yes.
Wow. You could be Prime Minister.
That's it.
Be Prime Minister.
Oxbridge on the CV.
So I went to Cambridge and did science, and then I went to Oxford to do a PhD in science, and wanted to work in industry, work for.
I'm getting off, Tom. Let me out.
I know a lot about a very small molecule, Allan, so don't get worried. And about that time, I was getting involved in my local church, just in Oxford, and my husband said to me, "What do you really dream of doing?" And I thought, I'm just really enjoying like being involved in my little church, a bit of preaching and stuff. And so I said, well, one day I'd love to be a vicar, but when I'm in my 50s, when I've had kids and blah blah blah. And the sad story is that my dad got cancer actually, and he died, and he was in his 50s. And I suddenly realised you can put off till later. And so that, for me, that was a wake-up call. So I decided to give up working for ESSO and went to train to be a vicar. And then that's when I came to Litherland when I was 30. So that's been my story, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was Litherland your first?
It was my first
parish,
place. I was like a trainee vicar there. Yeah. But my husband's from Liverpool, so it was for us. It was a sense of coming back home to his home, really.
Yeah.
And when I was training, I did a placement in East London. And I really wanted to work in a more poorer, deprived area, really. So part of that was, top of my agenda, really. And that's why I came to Liverpool. Yeah.
Wow. How did you find it? How did they find you, Jill?
I know. Well, I was a bit, when I came, I remember thinking, gosh, because I had a more of a posh accent at that time, because you end up picking up the accent where you live. More posh, I know. But my boss said, but you'll soon be our Jill,
Yes.
I think for me, a big shout out for Liverpool is because it's a city that's made up of a lot of people who come from all over, immigrant city in that sense. Yeah. I think you just so quickly our Jill or our Tom or our Allan. That's a lovely thing. So for me,
they still hate me here, Jill.
Do they still hate you?
They still shout Tory at him down the street. Tom's a Tory.
There we are.
When should that stop, Jill? When should they stop?
Well,
I bet they loved you from day one.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it was quite unusual to have a woman vicar as well. Yeah. I remember going to do my first funeral visit, and I knocked on the door, and they opened the door and said, we've got a dolly bird doing our funeral. And it kind of went on from there, really.
Wow.
But I did love it. I mean, I think for me, I just met people who'd had crazy stories that were just on another world, So I met a woman who was my age. She'd already had, her 5 kids. We're still friends, Kathy. Just very different stories. But often I found that the more, in some way, how can I put it? My ego had been preened. But actually I found that people whose egos had been crushed, the moment they let Jesus in, there was so much room in their hearts for him that he would do incredible things that wouldn't actually happen to me. So I can manage my way. Sorry, it sounds a bit arrogant, doesn't it? But I've got so much used to managing my way through life into being a bishop. And so I don't, I can easily find that I don't need to depend on him. But some of my friends who are made here, who I'm still friends with, they were just so wide open to what he could do in their lives. And, I just think when we get to heaven, the people on the top table will look quite different from what we think because, Jesus works with people whose egos are crushed and small in a ways he doesn't with people like me.
Yeah.
Was it St. Philip's you were at?
It was St. Philip's, Litherland, yes.
I did one of my mates' funerals there. And it must have been not long after you left, actually. And when I'd been visiting him, I'd noticed he loved Ribena and what are them orange biscuits called?
Jaffa cakes.
Jaffa cakes, yeah. And that he wasn't religious, and none of the people who were coming to the funeral were really. And I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll wind into the story, the communion, and Jesus saying goodbye to his mates. and I'll see you again. And he used, obviously, wine and bread. But and I said, we'll all have a shot of Ribena and a Jaffa cake each, right? Which there was 300 people there, so it was a lot of Jaffa cakes. But I remember the warden at the back standing there, just thinking, what is going on here? I don't think I'll ever be invited back.
Oh, no, but that's quite powerful.
So we did Jaffa cake communion.
Okay.
But I explained it in a way, you know, these were some of Phil's favourite things.
Yeah.
And until we see him again and things like that, I wove it in. But it was, I'll never forget it, yeah. I was known as the Jaffa Cake Man after that.
Oh, I love it, yeah.
I literally got in a taxi about 3 months later and someone went, the fella driving it went, "You're that Jaffa Cake fella, aren't you?" And I went, "Depends. It's where I owe your money." Anyway, sorry.
No, don't apologise. Yeah.
I keep butting in, sorry.
No, it's great. It's all good. And I was interested to ask you about your book, Jill.
Oh, yes,
you've written it. Have you got one with you there?
Oh, yes, I have. Oh, by the way, it's here. Yeah.
Oh, like that was handy, wasn't it?
Product placement.
Yeah. Look what I just happened to
have.
Yeah. When did you write that?
I wrote it 2002. It came out last 2023. 2023.
No,
sorry. 2022.
Oh, I was going to say,
yes.
that was a long print.
That was a long time ago. No. Sorry.
11 years to print it.
Sorry.
That's like me reading it.
No, well, Allan, I wrote it. My son said you've got to write it so the rugby dads can read it.
Okay.
So I've
nice.
written it's kind of hopefully easy read.
Okay, great.
For people who maybe you've got faith, maybe you haven't got faith. And it's based around a vision I've had of lighting the beacons. So
tell us about that. That was taken because that was about Lord of the Rings, was it? Was it an image in Lord of the Rings?
Well, it was actually. It started when I went for interview for St. Mellitus to be the director there. At the end of the interview, I said, "Well, if this works really well, 10 years time, what does success look like?" And the guy running the panel, Graham Tomlin, who's now a bishop, said, "Well, when I pray about the college, I see students leaving it and like lighting little lights around, like lights around the country." And that image of lights coming on kept coming around and coming around. And a year later, him and I were marking a student presentation at the end. When people left, they did a presentation where they're going to. And this was Ashley, and she was going to actually a church in Liverpool where the school was called the Beacon School. And so she played this clip from Lord of the Rings about lighting the beacons. I'll just describe it to you because I realised that summarised everything I was praying for. So in the dark point in the film, a little hobbit climbs up and he lights a beacon. And you see this amazing cinematography of beacons being lit across the hills. And Gandalf says, "Hope is kindled."
Wow.
And that was my prayer for St. Mellitus, that it would be unlikely people who were lighting fires and bringing hope, really. And I think it's interesting, isn't it, that it's the hobbits in the film who are trusted with carrying the ring. The proud men, the proud bishops aren't trusted. And I think that's what the Lord is doing in our country at this time. It's unlikely people who really carry his fire.
Wow.
I'm a hobbit. You're going to say it, aren't you? You were going to say it.
No, I wasn't. I was enjoying the moment. I could sense something in you. You were going to say something.
I was waiting for you to say it.
You have got hairy feet, like.
I haven't got
That's why you're hiding them in those Uggs. So, I mean, I guess it'd be interesting. So the book kind of unpacks some of that vision, and then
unpacks that vision and about the idea of fire. The.
I'm going to download it on the what's that download thing I've got?
The internet.
The internet.
No.
The internet.
Audible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you read? Is there an audio version?
I think there is an audio version, so you can listen to it. It's quite easy to listen, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
You're not reading it though.
No, I'm not.
Oh, that's a shame.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I
do. You have a listen.
I will.
Good.
Yeah.
I've read half of it and really enjoyed it.
He didn't say that to me earlier. He said he's read 2 chapters.
No, I've definitely read more than 2 chapters and really good.
I won't test your essay on it.
And we had it in the office at work and people have really appreciated it. What would you say then? I guess having a bit of a national picture of the church and having a bit of a, in that picture of the light and the beacons and some of what you unpacked in the book, what's your feeling in terms of Christianity across England, maybe the UK, like a lot of people, there's this perception that Christianity is dying off. It's, it's in the West, it's kind of we're moving beyond, faith.
Yeah, no, I think
feeling?
It's the opposite. I think the tide is turning, and I think there's a real hunger in our nation. And as a scientist, I'm really interested in data, and the data all is that the younger you are, the more likely you are to believe in miracles, to be open to all sorts of stuff.
Wow, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That has been, because of the backdrop of spirituality that happened before, isn't it? It has to lead to that. And then as we hear about people dreaming about Jesus and stuff and all that kind of stuff, it's gotta, the backdrop is kind of been there, not just because of the church, but because of all this other stuff that people got mad into and all that, like the New Age stuff that you mentioned. But all of that has to have laid some sort of foundation that the gospel can then jump on top of and say, hey, this is what you're looking for.
Absolutely.
I think. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, don't know. That's exactly it, really. And I think the love in the heart of God is so strong for people. I mean, Jesus says it's a bit like a father who's lost his son. I hope that's not, scenario for people who are watching this. But he says, when the father saw his son on the horizon, his heart was, his guts were twisted, really, with compassion. Compassion in English is like a really fluffy word, isn't it? But in the Greek, it's a real. And I think that the agony in the heart of God is for his lost sons and daughters is forcing its way into our culture, actually. And that's why, like, home and come home and a sense that there's got to be more to life than this is so strong. I think that's from the heart of God, actually.
I do think I've even noticed it in the media in recent months, over the last year or so. There's maybe some, significant people coming to faith, or people who have previously held views, didn't hold a belief in God, and have come to faith, from a sense that actually that worldview without God was quite bleak. Whereas, and again, we've talked about dreams, haven't we? We've talked about how Jesus works his way in, and you've got, people who have been, for, culture, Western society for many decades now has said that, belief in faith has been ridiculed, really, or has been the sense that, we're squeezing that out. We no longer need it. But increasingly you're seeing people find that actually there is life, there is purpose and meaning. And it's incredibly exciting.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. And people say, well, how can you be a scientist and believe in God? And I think, like, why not, actually? Science will tell you maybe how things are made, but not why things are made. And actually, I think we've had this sort of rationalistic view for 200 years, really, that boils faith down to something that's not necessary. It's a bit weird, but it's not. People are interested in supernatural things. People believe most people believe there's something after you die, or that's a real issue. A lot of people believe in angels, all those sorts of things. And actually, there's someone, out there, Jesus, who is the ultimate, the ultimate manifestation of who God is, actually. Well, obviously I think that, but yeah.
It's great. It's great. Where are we going next, Hal? Have you got any more questions for Bishop Jill?
What football team do you support?
Well, I do actually support Liverpool, so that is the right thing to say. That's the right answer around here, isn't it?
Well,
judging from your shed.
From Allan's shed, it's the
from
right
Allan's
answer.
shed.
Yeah, Tom's an Arsenal fan, so.
I'm an Arsenal.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
They're second at the moment, aren't they?
We are second. I'm waiting for a wobble from Liverpool. It might happen.
We'll wait and see.
We'll see. Arnie Slaughter and all that.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And whereabouts in Liverpool was your husband from?
Oh, he was from Woolton, sort of posh end, really.
But
I do. Here's my Liverpool.
Not Walton. Woolton.
Woolton, yeah. Woolton, not Walton. Yeah.
Okay. Go on. You've got a Liverpool story.
Well, I still remember. So on my tin house estate, in 2005, there was an amazing Liverpool victory, wasn't there? That time when they were in Istanbul.
Tom wouldn't know anything about.
Sorry, so long ago, wasn't it? But after but it was 3-0, wasn't it? And people were leaving the stadium at half time, thinking we can't possibly carry on watching this awful defeat.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, I still remember this match, 3 more goals.
Yeah.
Liverpool. The last one just. Yeah. And on the house estate, it was like heaven had come. Taxis were beeping the horns, fireworks were going off, there was cheering. And it was like that sense of like heaven breaking in to Liverpool. And so, I think it's interesting, isn't it? Football and football and faith, they're quite close together, I would imagine.
Yeah. That's massive. Yeah. What were you doing that night, Istanbul?
I was in someone's house watching it.
Oh, yeah. Had you given up hope at half time?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, well, the funny thing was, our Becky was about, I don't know how old she was, but she was, I'm trying to work out. She was about 10, something like that, or 12. She went out the room into the garden and we scored. And she was still in the garden when we scored the second one. So the fella whose house it was wouldn't let her back in. Left her in
it was
the
like
garden.
A superstition.
Get out! Stay out there!
And you allowed this?
It was only 7 minutes, wasn't it?
It happened quick. It happened quick.
Thankfully for her, she didn't get hypothermia, yeah. It's fine.
Fantastic. We've got a couple of things to do before we end.
Yes.
First of all, Room 101.
Yes. Yeah.
Talk us through what Room 101 is.
Right, Room 101. We've all done Room 101, haven't we? Yeah. This was your idea. So we've done Room 101 where we pick things that we want to put there that we ignore them after that. They're gone.
They're gone. They
gone.
Cease to be.
They don't happen anymore. And we've asked Bishop Jill to give us 3 things and why she's putting them in Room 101.
Yeah.
So, Bishop Jill, it's over to you.
Where do you want to start?
3 things. I've got 1 funny and 2 serious. What shall I start with?
Let's start with the serious.
Yeah.
The serious. Okay, number 1.
Yeah.
Manhole covers.
Manhole
covers. I need to unpack that.
You
for
definitely
you
need, because they purely just feel like some sort of safety thing.
Yeah,
safety
otherwise
thing.
you fall in and it's not
I
good.
know,
I've seen someone fall in one. It was dead funny.
Okay.
Broke his ribs and everything.
So, I will just explain the manhole cover piece.
Please.
So, this is just before I became a bishop. I woke in the night with a vision, and I've only had about the only one vision I've had. And in the vision, this wave was scouring the country and scouring out from under the sea, this underground army, and depositing them on the shore. Bit weird. So I think any vision, scripture needs to go with it. So I said, Lord, what is the scripture that goes with this? And I was led to Isaiah 61.
Okay.
And if you read it, it says, it's Jesus uses it as his manifesto when he starts his work. And it basically says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he's I've come to bring the good news to the poor, the brokenhearted, the prisoners, the captives. And then as you read down, and I'd never spotted this before, because they will rebuild the ancient ruins. They will restore the places devastated for generations. And so for me, I felt like this was Jesus is wanting to send a wave to scour out from the underground the poor, the brokenhearted, the prisoners, the captives, because they are going to renew our nation, literally. And then I got praying into, well, what is trapping people underground? And I think it's things like racism, misogyny. We talked about, we laugh about not reading, but actually there's an elitism, isn't there, in our nation, that grades people, some people higher than others. And I think he's lifting off the manhole covers. So that are trapping people underground. And I used to be involved, well, I still am involved with working in various estate churches in Lancashire. And I told this story one week. And the next week, someone came and said, the manhole covers are all off in my street. And it felt like a sort of, like a physical manifestation.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are trapped underground. And it can be because of being for those different things, but particularly the brokenhearted. I think sometimes when dark stuff happens to you, trauma, it can trap you with pain in darkness. And actually, I think Jesus literally can lift off the manhole covers that are trapping people underground.
Come
on. I want to get rid of manhole covers.
Yeah.
People started weighing them in.
Did they?
Yeah, because they're heavy. They're really
metal.
Heavy. Yeah. Especially the old ones.
Maybe
really
that's
heavy.
what has happened on that estate with that fella.
People started taking them up and weighing them in, yeah.
Oh, sell them for scrap.
Selling for scrap.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd never...
That's what happened.
What if people sold manhole covers for scrap spiritually? That would be amazing.
Oh, I don't know.
Scrap. Oh, no, okay.
Gone too deep for me now. I'm still on Flippy the Frog. Sold the bug.
Very good. Go on, give us your next one.
I think we're doing that one, aren't we? We're going to put that in.
Yeah, definitely.
That's gone in. Yeah, not a problem.
Doubt.
Yeah,
is that a 101?
That's defo in there. The manhole covers are gone. Watch out on them roads out there.
So to speak. Oh.
Go on, another
second
one.
Serious one.
Yes, please.
It's children's homes. It's hard to speak about this, isn't it, really?
One next door.
So have you? Okay, yeah. And I thought it's interesting when my boys were young, we used to watch Dumping Ground was like our popular CBBS or BBC, CBBC thingy, really.
What was it called?
The Dumping Ground. It was about this children's home. Have you watched that?
No, not one. We had Octonauts.
Octonauts. They were a happy version. Really.
Okay.
But yeah, and it was quite popular actually, and there's lots of books about it, really. But part of my ministry as a bishop is I oversee prison ministry, and kind of like the number of people who end up, particularly blokes who end up in prison, who've come from the care system in whatever way. In fact, there's 86,000 people in prison at the moment, and 85,000 of them are men. And I think if there's any other stat like that in our lives.
Say that again.
Yes.
There's 86,000 people in prison.
Yeah.
And 85,000 are men. And that makes me really...
That's crazy,
That's
isn't
dark,
it?
isn't it? What is it about... If there was any other stats, especially the other way around, we'd be in trouble. And I've got 2 lads, you know, and I think, you know, how we enable lads and men to grow and really flourish in our societies. I don't think people have an easy time, actually. On all the metrics, girls are doing a lot better than lads at the moment. So, but I think one of the heartbreaking things is we form our relationships when we're young, and we, you know, you talked about headmaster or being in trouble with God, and actually growing up in a way that you can trust the adults around you and that they want to see you flourish is a very special gift, isn't it? And I think so at the moment in Lancashire, we have the most children in care in the country. And there's quite a lot of monetarising of children's homes, because the thing is, I can make a lot more money out of, if I have a large children's home, and the amount it costs per week is incredible, actually. I don't want to, you know, there's thousands and thousands. And actually, I think we've got a hidden economy in our nation that is monetarising the most vulnerable kids, because they're transported literally from Essex to like East Lancs. Their mums and their dads and their sisters and brothers aren't going to connect anymore. And it's a very dark thing. And, you know, these children and teenagers haven't got a voice. And there's a lot more lads in care than there are girls as well.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying, and it's a silent voice as well. So it's interesting that, you know, the Victorians used to say children should be seen and not heard, and we think we've moved on from that. But I think in some very dark ways we haven't, actually.
What's the answer, Jill? Like, in terms of is it closing children's homes because there's no longer need for them, or is there an alternative provision?
That would be the aim. So, I mean, there's a couple of charities called Home for Good and Safe Families for Children. Safe Families for Children is just to give people a little bit of a respite care. Because who hasn't had a toddler? And you're like, we were talking about your grandson. I mean, you know, they can be quite frustrating, especially if they're quite active. And I think often we're not given much top tips in parenting, what it means to... Sorry.
Tom's top tips.
I've got top tips for parenting.
Have you got top tips? Oh, maybe you can share this in a moment. But
carry on, Jill.
I will keep going, shall I? But actually, what if there was ways in which other families could, children could find their ways into other families, really? Or what if we could start earlier and say, do you know what, being a parent's actually really hard, and here are some top tips for how it might be to, because we all want to be a good mum or a good dad, but actually my experience is it's actually the hardest thing I've done. You know, some of the days when I've been driving to work as a bishop thinking, in theory, I've got all this crazy stuff going on. The hardest thing I'm doing is parenting. And
there's no manual, is there?
Sorry?
There's no manual.
There's no manual.
Well, there's loads of books today, but they're rubbish.
Exactly. There's no manual, and there's no...
They just basically give you this little thing and go, don't kill it.
I remember that being terrifying.
It is, but it's the most important job you'll ever do.
You get no training.
No training.
There's no other job they give you without any training.
And no other job that's got so much influence. You know. So if you were a forklift driver, you'd have a bit of a, you know, or if you were brewing up, I've not dared to drink your beer.
I wouldn't. I haven't. In fairness,
but to be fair, Alan, there'd be health and safety. There'd be some checks on
there's
this.
Everything.
I wish there had been.
But that's just beer, and we're not allowed to speak about that as well. We're not allowed to speak about family life or what it means to parents, and that's not judging parents, because I make mistakes too. But I'd love to see a nation that puts parenting in a really positive way, and also being a mum. You know, I went to this really fairly posh girls' school, and it was in the 80s, and they said, "Look, girls, the Queen's a woman, the Prime Minister's a woman. There's nothing you can't do. And I think that did give me quite an ambitious view of life. But they never said to me, do you know what? You really enjoy being a mum. And that, you know, so that is the best job I've ever done. But, you know, I remember my son when he was 6, he said to me, Mummy, you're good at 3 things. I thought, well, you know, you're good at choosing nice clothes.
Nice.
Putting on makeup. Yeah. And finding fun things for us to do.
Oh, and that was good.
And that was I don't say it to boast, but I say that was sort of one of the most beautiful things. That's happened to me.
My kids are just getting all right now, and they're 35 and 32.
It takes a long time.
Yeah, they're not. They're still.
You did a good job with your kids.
Right. Yeah, they've done all right. Yeah,
and I think I remember it might have been Home for Good or one of those charities, quite a compelling narrative around churches playing their part in foster care and adoption, and that actually if every church, you know, in the country were, you know, were almost
just one family, and then there was support, because I mean, I hats off to anybody who's involved in that, because I don't feel I have the capacity, but I would have the capacity to help a little bit, or you know, have a
and we do that at Emmanuel. We've got Dave and Stacey who foster and you know, came to faith in the last few years and really feel like fostering is something they're called to do, and so we get the joy, like as a church, you know, when they foster someone and, you know, foster a child, you know, often come for maybe 6 months or a particularly vulnerable moment in their lives. And we just, as a church family, just get to love on the kids and support and cheer on Dave and Stacey. And it feels like you say, we're playing our little part in that.
Absolutely. And, you know, not one, you know, to do a cheeky plug for church, that's actually one of the few places in society where you have all sorts of ages and stages, and you have the teens and the grannies and the, you know, and some of the tensions that you get when you have an all-age congregation. But I think that's a lovely thing that we do ourselves down, and we can speak quite poorly, but actually, in my mind, it's an extended family, isn't it?
Well, that's in room 101. That's it.
Yeah, that's gone.
Give us a funny one.
Okay, so sweets with sugar. I think
sweets with sugar.
So, well, how can I put it this way? I do a lot of driving my job, and I buy Percy pigs to keep me going. I have some emergency Percy pigs in the car, and till recently they're so full of sugar that by the time I get somewhere, I'm really high. But they have invented some like nearly 0 sugar or certainly half sugar Percy pigs. So I would like all the world to be full of Percy pigs.
You probably won't like them then, though, because you won't be high anymore.
Is that a secret? Okay.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Or maybe it's just a middle-aged woman. I want the calorie-free sweet. You see,
that's it. Yeah.
So I'm going to put all the ones that
don't. You'll get into your meetings and you'll be like,
exactly.
Percy pig.
Sorry,
it's not as fun anymore, Percy.
So the fun will go.
What are we doing today?
So,
you'll turn into me. That's what happens. I cut the sugar out, didn't I?
I cut the sugar out. So I would love sweets to be sugar-free, so I could eat them forever, because I've got a really sweet tooth. So
I'm just imagining you, Jill, you know, after a 2-hour journey to go and visit a C of E school, coming out like, what are we doing? Where are the kids?
I've learned to discipline myself.
Very good. Well, if you got a sweet tooth, my son would kill me if I put sweets in room 101. You have recently?
But the last year or so, yeah.
What's happened?
It's probably the cancer. Loves it, on it. You're supposed to pack it in, but I've got mad on it.
Well, so I mean, what do you think then? Can we put these in? I mean, I feel like if we put sweets in room 101, Jill.
Pigs. I don't eat them.
I want the world to just have sweets that don't have sugar in. That's my dream.
You've got high dreams in life. I like it. I mean, I love the vision. You know, make the care system redundant. You know, sweets that also.
I think this home next to us is actually shut. So you might have started already. There hasn't been anyone there since just before Christmas.
There we are. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well. So let's just drill in very specifically. You'd like sweets
with. She wants.
Hang on, let me get this right.
Because I'm trying to think. You want. But what do you want to put in the room? Because that's the game, innit?
Yeah. Sorry, I've mixed it up there, haven't I?
That's. Sorry. I hate to be a stickler for the rules.
High sugar sweets in the
room, because then that will give way to healthy,
calorie-free.
It's calorie, so a replacement for the sugar, basically.
That's fine.
The taste will taste.
If we can, I'm happy with that then. Make the world a better place.
She'll be like shaking like mad, like for ages.
Come down. But, okay, let's go with that, Jill.
It's a bit dodgy, but
I think you've got 3 out of 3 there.
Oh gosh, that's.
I don't think that's happened very often before.
We've only done it twice. And the last fella got 3 out of 3 as well.
Oh, did he? Yeah, 100%. We're just very generous. We're very kind.
Yeah, we don't care.
Children across the nation gutted right now. There's
nowhere
can't have
to
sweets
live.
anymore.
Homelessness has shot up.
Can't even have any sweets. Anyway.
Can't have sweets on the streets. Sweets on the streets, we could call it, couldn't we?
Sorry, Jill.
Oh.
Right, let's finish off.
Yes.
Jill, you've been a great sport. Let's finish off with a story. Basically, we have our wall here, and we've got a pen. And so basically, guests who come in, they come and tell a story at the end of the session in the bar. And basically, if they tell a story that is well loved, we put them on the wall. And I'm trying to find the button here. We haven't done this for a while.
He didn't set it up.
Here we go.
Properly.
So we put them on the wall. If they tell
get them on the wall.
Get them on the wall. So if you tell a story, then that means you're a lifetime member of Finnegans.
Yeah.
Gosh,
you can come anytime
this is making
you're in
me
the
nervous, isn't it? So it's all resting on this last piece, isn't it?
It is. There's a lot of pressure, and if you come back, if you come to Littleland, visit some old friends, you can come to the bar, you can hang out here.
Yeah,
you'll be welcome
anytime.
Yeah. Key to the door.
Free bar pass. Do I get free beer?
You get as much
as that as you want. Bottles of that everywhere. You can drink as much of this.
It's only going to get better with age. But if it all goes wrong, then you get barred, basically.
You're bad, lad.
And then you can't come back
You can't even come back to Netherton.
Oh, no. Okay, so
we have
get
people
better.
on the boundaries.
I better
on the
try.
main roads in.
Yeah.
Saying, no, Jill, go.
So give it your best.
Okay, so I'll give my... this is a story from 3 weeks ago.
It's fresh.
It's a fresh story.
Okay.
And this is a decade-changing story in my heart. So I'm just going to tee it up. But it's about a friend of mine.
Okay.
Because we met at now, Tom.
We are.
And we met at the school gates.
Okay.
And when our boys were 5 and became friends. And then 2 months later, she said, I've got some bad news for you because I've got... I had breast cancer when I was in my 20s and it's come back. I'm terminal and I've got 2 years to live. And I was just so heartbroken. And because both my mum and dad, my dad at that point had died from cancer and my mum wasn't very well, just had a real sense of aggression about this, thinking, I'm not having this. And really, really prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed for her most birthdays. And every time she's had a scan, I've kind of like... please, Lord, would you look after her? And so 3 weeks ago, I knew she was going for her scan. And so when she phoned me, I was really quite anxiously picked it up. And she said, you're the first person I'm phoning. So I was dreading what she was going to say. She said, I've just come from my oncologist. And he said, all your cancer has gone to sleep. It's still there, but it's gone to sleep because she's spread to her liver and her bones. And we've had to talk about it at our meetings. We're considering you're cured.
Wow.
And I will always try. I rushed, but bizarrely, she doesn't live too far from you actually in Liverpool. So I rushed round and gave her a massive, massive hug. And for me, I know that's not always the story, and I've lost both my parents to cancer, but that was, for me, that's been a really hope in the darkness, because she was already exceeding all the records, because our boys are 20 now, and this is 15 years of praying with secondary breast cancer is quite unusual to be, but to have this news was just so beautiful, really. So
wow,
that's my story. And through all the time, she's always been so kind of positive, always quite thankful. It's made her very thankful, even though she knew every birthday might be a last birthday, last Christmas. But she's my heroine too.
Wow.
And if she's watching this, I'll dedicate this podcast to her. But yeah.
So this was 3 weeks ago.
This is 3 weeks ago, and I'll still forever remember where I was when I took that phone call. And I was so thrilled because she's the first person I phoned, and she's not got a faith herself, but she's very happy for me to pray for her. And sometimes when she's awake at night worrying, I said, well, why don't you just ask Jesus? And she said, I often find a sense of peace when I do that. So that's a real thing. So if you're, that's my experience.
Incredible.
So it's a really special story.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's what we
can't not put it on the wall, can we?
I think you played a blinder there, Jill. Yeah, you played an absolute blinder.
You're probably top of the list there.
So we're going on the wall.
Member.
And I do a little cross for Bishop, is that right? Is that when you write it down?
Well, officially, it's a bit up ourselves, isn't it, to be fair? But
plus
Jill. Yeah.
We've got an MP on here.
Yeah. So you're in good company. We'll put you above the MP. I'm going right at the top here, Bishop Jill.
Golly.
There you go.
Yeah, here we go up here.
Oh, you're getting it in there?
Yeah.
You can't get Bishop Jill in there. Oh, is that how you do it?
There you go.
Cross and the Jill.
That's how you do it.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I've really enjoyed that tonight.
Yeah.
We haven't been in the bar for a while, and it's been lovely to get back in. I feel like we've come full circle. We started talking about your cancer treatment.
Yeah.
Started to talk about God's provision.
Yeah.
And care within the midst of that.
Yeah.
We've come full circle. It's been beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in with tonight, Jill.
Oh, thank you so much. I've loved it.
Oh,
so good to see you both. And
she was a bit scared at first, I think.
Has it been okay?
I was a little bit rabbit in the headlights at the beginning, wasn't I? But I think
no, I didn't.
Even with
that didn't come across. I
didn't come across
beforehand.
Yeah,
you were a bit like, oh, what are they going to do to me? What are they going to say?
I know, but it's
that Tom one. Alan's nice.
It's a
Tom.
thought of your beer.
Yeah.
That's
it. Yeah. Well, you got your own back, Allan, because I remember when you were at St. Mellitus and you had got onto some comedy award, much lower than Britain's Got Talent,
yeah.
and I got you out the front, didn't I, to tell you the news? And what did you say? Do you remember that? What you said?
Yeah, I said. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous because we all know the last time a Baptist minister stood up in front of 200 Anglicans, it was a trial.
That's brilliant.
Very good.
Cheers for the Baptists.
That's it.
Cheers for the Baptists.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Bishop Jill. You've been an absolute legend. I think we might do this a little bit more again,
I'm up for it. I've got nothing to do. You're busy.
Next time you can't wear the Uggs, though. That's really thrown me off tonight.
Thrown me off?
Yeah.
Have you seen your webs that are bad? Size 13.
Well, I've got big feet, but they're not in Uggs. That's all I'm going to say for them.
They're not in Uggs, but what are they?
They're Nikes. Nothing wrong with that. Not 110s. But
Nikes from TK Maxx that no one else would buy.
All right, we're going to end there.
Anyway.
Let's not do this again, actually.
Yeah. Can't stand you.
Thank you very much to Bishop Jill. Lovely to see you. Safe journey home. Thank you for coming over. Really, really appreciate it. And we will see you again shortly for another episode of Wednesday Night at Finnegans.
Yeah. See you later.
Cool time. Very good. Good night. God bless.